so that everybody will know where you are. You're at your home.
I am.
The river is probably right behind you. Is that?
It's actually on the other side of the house.
Okay.
I was trying to figure out where we could be, that we could kind of not take over the whole house, and my poor husband Gene would have some place to be. So we kind of got back in the back corner. This is actually my dressing room.
Okay, we came right into the personal area, right?
Right. Yeah.
I have been, thanks to you, I've been hearing bits of this album for quite some time, and anxiously waiting for you to release it. And I sat down and listened to the songs back to back and kept going, to a few favorites. But thank you for releasing it. I think at this time especially is a great time to hear new music. And you have been working on this album for quite some time. Can you talk about that and the whole idea of putting together this album?
Yeah, it has been over a year that we've worked on this. Don Cusick, who, for those who aren't familiar with Don, is a wonderful historian and music professor at Belmont. And he called me one day and said he was going to be out at the Opry on Saturday night. And he said, would you have a minute? I'd like to talk to you about something. So I said, sure, just meet me in my dressing room as soon as I come off stage. And I had no idea what Don may have in mind or what he wanted to talk to me about. But I can tell you it wasn't this project. So I was totally thrilled. So thrilled that somebody of this caliber would still think that I had something to offer at this stage of my life and career. It's just been such a gift and such a great opportunity.
I think the first time I ever met Don was when he was working with Eddie Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote a book, I think, on Eddie Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
We all know him in Nashville, and he has quite a great reputation.
Yeah, great guy. And so fun. I've just really enjoyed through this project getting to know him personally, and what a joy that friendship has become.
Well, it's important, I find, to talking to artists, it's so important that you work with someone that gets you, that doesn't go into the studio and try to do something that pleases them. And right, I think that's what you found. And you surround yourself with people. I believe it's Tim Atwood that I hear on the record as well.
Well, Tim, I'm doing a song that Tim wrote. He's not actually singing on this or playing on this, but Don said, I want to do different things, some things. I want this album to go from one extreme to the other and have a lot of talking points and do things that will kind of surprise people. And so when he mentioned, I want something that kind of rocks it up a little bit. Well, on all the shows I've been doing with Tim Atwood, he was singing this song that he wrote, and it always just knocked me out hearing him do it and watching the audience reaction too. I mean, everybody just gets up and boogies and dances, when Tim does this. So anyway, we were talking with the people we chose to do duets. And it was like, okay, this calls for somebody a little bit on the spunky, sassy side to do this with me. And actually, Roxanne Atwood, Tim's wife, said, the only one I know that comes close to you, Seely, would be Morgan. So I said, bingo, that's it. And I called Lori and I said, I can send you the track and see if you like it. And she said, doesn't matter. I want to do it. Count me in. And we had such fun in the studio. I've never been around Lori Morgan. I didn't have a good time.
Yeah, you two are two peas in a pod.
What cracked me up at the very end of it, she said, I'm just here to please the queen. I said, oh, please, can we leave that on the record? So I think that kind of shows some of the fun of it.
I've seen you two on stage a lot together and hanging out together, and it's always fun. We've got to talk about Willie Nelson's involvement, your old friend Willie Nelson, and how that came about and what your thoughts are on that.
Well, I am so absolutely honored to have Willie on here. Yes, we met in 1963, so we've been friends for a long time, and I was so thrilled to be able to be opened for him on his fair dates back in the early 80s, right when there was a transition in my life and career that I sure needed a helping hand. And of course, Willie extended it to me. But what was so funny was we just about finished all of this. And I was standing there cleaning up the kitchen after dinner one night. And I said, "Oh, Jean, I can't believe here I am on Willie's Roadhouse every week. I didn't even ask Willie if he would like to be on this project with me." So I immediately went to the phone and called Buddy Cannon. And Buddy said, "I know he's going to want to be on it because Willie loves you." So Buddy asked, "Well, how do we need to do it?" So Buddy said, "Just send me the track that you want him to work on." Of course, Buddy Cannon produces all of Willie's current stuff. And he said, "I'll send it to his engineer. And then Willie will do it whenever he has time, feels like it. Might be in Hawaii, might be in his ranch, might be in a studio in Austin, who knows? But when he has a chance, he'll do it." So I found out later that he actually did it on July 5th, a year ago, the day after his 4th of July picnic. I didn't know anybody was even living after a Willie Nelson picnic the next day, but that's when he did it. And I chose, excuse me, I chose the Dallas Wayne song, "Not a Dry Eye in the House," because I've always thought, I don't think a duet necessarily has to be a his line, her line, you know. Some songs just lend itself, and this song just seemed to me like we could be right there. And Dallas Wayne, I think he nailed it when he said, when he first heard it, he said, "Seely, this sounds like an intimate conversation between two old friends." And I love thinking of it that way.
And that's what it is. Speaking of old friends, another song I have to ask you about is the one that is co-written with Dottie West. I know she was dear to you, and I'll tell you the effect this song has had on me. You played it for me quite some time ago, and then I've been listening to it this week, and it made me go back and listen to her music. And the last few days I've been listening to a lot of more of Dottie West. You know, her music comes back and back and forth in my life a lot. And then when I listen to you sing this song, it's obvious that you knew her to me, because I hear inflections,
Yeah.
of Dottie in this song. Can you talk about
I couldn't help but do it. I've always tried very hard not to sound like anybody, and especially Dottie, because as such close friends, you're with somebody, and her music I listen to a lot too. And especially when you respect and admire somebody's style, it's very easy to pick up little things. So I've always tried very hard not to. On this song, I didn't. The song, Ron Harmon has a lot of stuff of Dottie's memorabilia and stuff, and he found these lyrics that Dottie had started, and it hit him so much. He took the lyrics to Bobby Tomberlin and Steve Wariner to finish, they were a great, perfect choice to finish this song. And so when they finished it and they brought it to me, I was so thrilled. All I could think of was, oh my goodness, how awful I would have felt if anybody else would have got this song beside me. And Steve said there was no way. Bobby and I both agreed this has to be Jeannie's. So in doing the song, there's one line in particular that I just kind of channeled Dottie, because I thought she didn't write this line, but she would have, had she been able to finish this song. And the way Dottie would, when you were talking to her or when she was singing, every now and then a line, she would kind of chuckle. And I could hear her doing that. And the line that said, "Another glass of wine few more jokes, I try to laugh. I just go on living. And I know when she wrote that, because when everything was coming down on Dottie, not only did I hear other people ask her, but I asked her myself. I'd say, Dottie, how are you doing? And she'd say, well, I just go on living, if you can call it that. It was such a rough time in her life, and it's so great that these lyrics were found. And I felt, when I was recording this, I felt the same way I did when I got to sing Here Comes My Baby at the medallion ceremony at her induction into the Country Music Hall of Fame. I've said this before, I was standing back there. That is a very daunting audience when you look out there, and all these people are Hall of Fame members and producers and writers, you know, the best in our business. And I was a little bit nervous, and all of a sudden I felt just this wonderful feeling coming over me saying, I get to finish something that Dottie started. Had she lived, she would have made these steps into the Hall of Fame on her own. She would be here performing tonight, maybe. And I thought, I'm getting to finish something she started. And that just made me feel so good. And I knew I had a purpose to be there. And that's the way I feel about this song. I'm just privileged to be able to finish for her something else she started.
Well, it is definitely full circle when I hear you sing that song. Beautiful version. It landed in the right place.
Good, thank you.
Well, as we wrap up, you know, those that are watching this and checking out Jeannie, her new album is called An American Classic, which she is, you know, having spent over 6 decades recording music and 50 years at the Grand Ole Opry. I've been privileged to see you perform on that stage many times, and you know I love you. It's so good to see you. We usually meet somewhere where there's food, but you're welcome to my house.
Oh, what kind of cheese and crackers do you have?
Yeah, chocolate. We need chocolate, don't we?
Okay. Well, I am thrilled always to be able to visit with you. And again, I miss being in person, but thank goodness for technology so we can still get together and do it safely. So I hope you stay safe and stay well, and I cannot wait for a Shannon hug.
Right back at you, friend. Thank you, Jeannie.
Bye-bye.